Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. This is time for my midweek report for Sweden. You'll note at the bottom of the report, there's some additional new reports, including where I compare Sweden to other EU countries with similar populations to Sweden. More specifically, I compare the countries in EU who have a population between 9 and 12 million people. So keep an eye out for those reports at the bottom of the report. The data for today's report comes from Our World in Data / John Hopkins University. Uh, that's a wonderful data set. If you want to find it yourself, there's just all kinds of information packed into their COVID-19 reports. Okay, so this is what 12:16 in Sweden, I guess, early a.m. Uh, Before I get started, I do have one request. If you find this report helpful, first of all, smash the like button and also share it with a friend. Okay. Secondly, don't forget to click that subscribe button. And thirdly, if you click on the description, you're going to see a link that says buy me a coffee. I would appreciate it if you click on that link and buy me a cup of coffee this morning. Okay, let's go ahead and run the report, see exactly what's going on with Sweden. Few libraries, let's see some data. Let's take a look at the number of new cases in Sweden. You can see over here. Here's the daily numbers. You can see the continuing climb up. If you break it down with the 7-day moving average, you can see the little better shape of it here, showing no signs of decline so far. You're approaching, 6,000 cases for a single day. Let's take a look at daily deaths now. Once again, you got some volatility. I'm not sure why you got this volatility, but you can see the trend where it is still upward. Okay. So now you probably average around 125 deaths per day. You can check this. If you look at this here, you can see it. The good news is you still haven't passed this peak here. And you're probably between, this says between, for the previous 7 days, you're averaging about, 50 to 75 cases, deaths per day. Let's take a look over here at some weekly numbers. Okay. If we take a look at weekly cases, this red line is the average number, is the average weekly cases. So you can see you're well above average. You had your biggest week either this week or last week as far as cases. With a steady climb, not really steady. It started to climb, then it increased very steeply here. If we look at deaths, well, if there's any good news today, it's that despite uh, despite a huge, massive spike in cases, your deaths are still lower than you were back in the spring. That's probably the only good news for today, unfortunately. But you can see that your cases are increasing pretty steeply here. And what about monthly cases? Monthly cases and deaths, you can see that November was the largest number of cases by far, and it's a pretty good shot. Unfortunately, December's cases will catch November's cases. Well, the good news is, and I won't call this good news on a monthly level, you can see that, well, while you're still having a spike over the previous 5 months, you're not really close to these two numbers here right yet. All right, for deaths. So your deaths are currently averaging about 1,000 to 1,200 per month. Let's take a look at here, Sweden and the EU. We're going to COVID-19 cases and deaths. I'm comparing you to EU countries with a population between 9 and 12 million. So let's just generate a summary statistic there, and let's just look at plots of total cases and deaths. So what we did, we got the plots of the total cases for these 5 countries. Six countries. You can see they're also sorted by the number of cases. So you can see that Sweden has the second lowest number as far as cases, with 50,000 cases. Okay, let's take a look at total deaths now. You can see here Sweden is fourth lowest in terms of total deaths. This is 1,000. This is 1,500 deaths. So you're approaching a total of 1,500 deaths, I guess. Let's take a look at total cases by day. Okay, so now you can see here the daily cases out into individual countries. So you can see Sweden's down here. These are sorted alphabetically, by the way. So you can see these down here. You can see Belgium had the largest spike in cases back in November, uh, but while they're declining, you can see Sweden had a steady climb up in early December, late November, and there appears to be some fall off here. That's maybe a little misleading. What about total deaths by day? Okay. And as I say many times, deaths is more important than cases in many ways. So it's like what university said. They say that daily deaths are the best indicator of the spread of a pandemic. And so you can see here, Sweden has had relatively low deaths per day, and they apparently fell off here. At worst is Belgium, and followed by Czechoslovakia. Okay, now let's take a look at mortality rates. Once again, we're sorting mortality rates. You can see that Sweden has the fourth highest mortality rate, but even so, it's still only slightly above 2.5%, with Greece having the most at 3%. And honestly, even 3% mortality rate isn't isn't that isn't that big. So anyway, I hope you did find some encouragement in this report for today, and we'll catch you all on Friday with an updated report for Sweden. Thanks so much for your time. Oh, one more time, smash that like button, share this video, subscribe, and don't forget to click on that buy me a coffee link in the description and buy me a cup of coffee. Again, thanks so much for your time, Sweden. We'll catch you on Friday.